My name is Bianca Morello. I'm 42 years old and I'm from Montreal, Quebec. So I came here because as somebody who wants to heal, I knew that it needs to take nutritional, physical, emotional health to be a whole person. I only had parts of that and bits and pieces, and I had some things right and I had some things wrong, but I wanted the cream of the crop of learning and training, and Dr. Darrell Wolfe's course honestly is one of the best, is the best. And I just wanted to kind of fill in all the gaps and get the proper tools to move forward in my healing journey. My starting point really started when I became a mother. Every day was always about helping others, being there for my kids, always thinking that I'm the last one that needed to be taken care of and I had to be fierce for them, fierce for the kids, the family. So my symptoms started when I had an emergency C-section. I tried everything to have the proper birth. I did hypnobirthing, which worked out great. Went up to 8.5 centimeters, naturally, no drugs or anything. But then because I had fallen down the stairs when I was pregnant, I had injured my coccyx. So I had abrupted my placenta and I went into an emergency C-section. So that's really when all my symptoms began, is when I was pregnant. And then further down the line, the more I was going, I wasn't taking care of myself. I had inflammation in my hips, inflammation in my hands. I had digestive issues from stress, but also because of the C-section and the surgery. And I wanted to take charge of my life. I had another child in between, and then she began to have symptoms, eczeema and severe skin problems, to the point where she looked like a burn victim. And I had enough of the medical system. Everything that I had tried for the first few years of her life failed. Doctors weren't able to help, specialists weren't able to help. They always told me there was no cure. It became really frustrating. I didn't want to do some of the things that the protocols that they told me, because it was very toxic. And I knew there had to be something else. So I think really that was the beginning of my healing journey for myself and for the children, because I knew that to heal my children, I had to heal myself first. So that was really important to me. And then after about 2-3 years of trying to help my daughter, I stopped going to the doctors and I took matters into my own hands. And within 3 days, I had fixed her skin problems, and she had beautiful porcelain skin, whereas before she looked like a burn victim. That's how severe it was. And she was from the age of 3 months to 3 years. It was horrible. So I felt empowered. It was amazing. I did something myself that the doctors couldn't help me with. So because I felt so empowered, that I decided that that's the journey I wanted to continue on, and here I am. The treatments that I've had in the past were very superficial. Went to osteopaths. Some were good, some were not. Massages, I mean, you name it, I went to see all of them. Nothing helped. It was very superficial. And it's tiring. Every couple of weeks, every month, you got to go see someone new, someone else, try somebody else, never finding the right practitioner to help. And it just grows and festers and becomes really frustrating that you just can't get a handle on your symptoms. How long have I been working on healing? My journey began in 2018 when I really reached the climax of my frustration. I was 38 years old and the doctor told me that I had menopause. And I just couldn't believe it. I was mind blown. I said, these symptoms have nothing to do with menopause. I mean, it's clearly something else. So at that point, I took matters into my own hands and I began my healing journey. So it's been the last 4 or 5 years now, and it's really accelerated now that I've been taking the courses with Dr. Darrell Wolfe and Dr. Sage and Jason. So it feels great. At the beginning, my sense of worth and my relationship with others kind of was strained because I was taking the power back into my own hands. I felt empowered to move forward and self-heal. I was doing a lot of research. I mean, the more I was talking about nutrition and omitting dairy and sugar and processed foods, and people just didn't get me, and I didn't get how they didn't get me. It just didn't make sense to me. I said, taking care of myself is straining my relationships, and it didn't make sense to me. But I just continued. I said, this is the only way forward. I mean, I had a little bit of a taste, and I loved it, and I wanted to heal myself, my family, others around me that were resonating with me. And I just, at that point, I just said, I'm going to let the rest just fall away. When they're ready, they'll come see me. What influenced me to get started here was just the power of Dr. Darrell Wolfe's words, his delivery, his commitment to everything that he was saying, and it just completely resonated with me. I loved him. I loved watching him. I loved his dramatics. That was me. I mean, that is how I was speaking to people back home. And so I completely resonated with him, and that kind of brought me deeper into his mind and his courses, and it piqued my curiosity. So physically, the gains that I've made since knowing Dr. Darrell Wolfe and the whole Braveheart Nation mentality has been that I've changed myself physically, in the sense that I took charge of what I was putting in my mouth. I transitioned from being in a big Italian family with like sweets and desserts and meat and big parties, and I cut all of that out, and I started on a whole plant-based diet, and I absolutely loved it. The frequency of those foods just uplift you. It's insane. And once you're on it for a little bit, anything else that you eat that has a low frequency or vibration, it just tastes horrible. And on the flip side of that, everything that you're eating that has a high vibration just tastes so much better. And you just want more of it. You want more fruits and more vegetables, and it changes your taste buds, and it just becomes a lifestyle. So that has been really amazing. And emotionally, before I got to this point, I thought everything was physical for me because I didn't feel great the way I looked, and I was shy with my body. It really stopped me from living life. And I was ashamed of certain things, and all my friends were in shape, but I couldn't wear a bathing suit, and it's so frustrating, honestly. But a lot of those blockages were because of surgeries that I've had. They were mental blockages. So in order to have everything, you really need to do the work both physically and emotionally. It's really important. The advice that I would give to people who had similar symptoms or discomforts would be really just to never give up. We give so much of ourselves throughout our life, and we're programmed to do that, and we never ask for anything in return. And especially as mothers, it's something that we need to do, is take back our power and smarten up and wake up. And if we can't take care of ourselves, how can we take care of our kids? Like, we need to realize that, honestly. And another goal of mine that I'd like to do going forward is, this is something that I relate to. So anybody who relates with me, I'd really like to focus on women and pregnancy and abdominal work, facial work, help them get through that pain. And because it's suffering that you don't need to suffer anymore. It's not necessary. It really isn't. And everything can be fixed. Everything can be melted away. It's just, you have to have the power inside. You have to believe in yourself and take that first step, and just every day make it the best day possible, and continue, and just never give up. What I would say to others who don't believe in themselves, just to squash that. It's a program. It's not you. It's not who you are. It's really not. There's always a way out. There's always somebody you can talk to. Take this course. That's all you need, honestly. That's all it is. Take the course, and you'll uncover your true, authentic self, and you'll be able to live free, because you deserve it. You really, truly do. To live in suffering is not living. People say living in suffering. It's not living. Come do the course, discover yourself, and be happy. Everything will melt away. Any ailment or dis-ease or whatever, it's all in your mind. It's really just all in your mind. Let it go and accept yourself, love yourself. Self-healing is self-loving. you have to love yourself first to be able to get through all that.